whyuce? Tell me why the sky's blue. Tell me why this money is green. Now Lord, please, tell me why I do these things to make tea. Now, yeah, let me. They kick me out of church, cause I just don't listen. Always fall asleep when the preacher is preaching. Not my fault, I do love God, but on Saturday nights, I be all up on God.
Yes.
Trying to save the world with
What's
my
up?
homies. My queen rising with my homies.
What's up, bro? How you doing today?
Dude, you know, it's another day, another dollar for us, man. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday, happy October. You know, October is a very important month to our people. We just all celebrated White Sunday. Was it
Hello.
yesterday? Yeah. Yeah, so it's a national holiday for all Samoan children, where everyone does memory verses, and the kids get to be spoiled, wear brand new white clothes, new shoes, new pales and everything, and then after church, spoiled them with some great eats, right? So happy White Sunday. I used to love that growing up. Shout out to all the kids who did their Melkoloko yesterday. And October is another busy month. It commemorates the breast cancer. It's a breast cancer awareness month, and it also is a domestic violence month. And before we get there, because how October is all about, but this is whyuce, so we want to talk about a little why. One of my first questions, Puni Moa, and I'm sure our listeners are out there, about why do people look at failures as a bad thing? Failure is such a harsh word to me. So people think when they don't reach their goals that they have failed, and then they give up, and then other people will drag them down and start being negative. Why do people do that? Why do people think that failure is a bad thing? It's because how they think about it, and it's what's been driven into them and what people have been talking to them. Because I know growing up, I used to think failure was a bad thing. I used to be scared to fail, because you didn't want to upset your parents, you didn't want to upset your friends or whoever you're trying to impress. But as you get older, or as you get wiser by the people who you hang out with, who you associate with, let me tell you something about getting older does not mean just because you're older, you're wiser. No, it's a whole different thing. You got to understand that you got to learn from your mistakes. And I like to say mistakes instead of failures. But that's what I saw online. That's why I wanted to talk about this, because when you fail, make mistakes, you move forward. You fail forward instead of just staying down on the ground and not getting up. So, Puni, why do you think people look at failure as a really bad thing? What do you think of the little examples I've been given? Do you get what I'm talking about, or do I?
No, I get it. That's a good question, because yeah, they are. I think it comes down to culture. I know that Asian culture are pretty big on, failure is not an option when it comes
Mm-hmm,
to education, or
mm-hmm,
getting good grades, getting good jobs, stuff like that. And of course, also Indian families, Samoans too. We're big on that. Failure to become somebody, like Samoan families is what, becoming what do they say, pastors or brethren.
mm,
When it comes to kind of
yes,
like politics stuff, right? Because it is kind of like a political thing when it comes to Samoa.
yeah,
You got to have a pastor. I don't know so much about the medical side, but I know about chiefs. Like, you got to make sure your family just has good jobs and stuff like that. So the failure not to meet those expectations, why do some people look at failure as a bad thing? It's the culture. That's what I'm saying. It's what we were breathed and taught to believe, that if you don't do whatever we're telling you to do, or to
yeah,
follow, what role you're supposed to be in, and you don't, you don't check mark, what's called considered qualification as whatever position, whether
yeah,
it's, your journey in religion or work, career.
Mhm.
or just having a title in your family, all that stuff makes
Yeah.
does that make sense? I think that's what I feel like when people think
So
that
from the
failure
home, huh?
culture.
From the home, what the culture, what they're telling us, what we should do, or like you said, it's the expectations. My thing is, why would we put so much pressure on the kids, or even your siblings, or um, why would we put so much pressure on that? And I don't know. I just feel like maybe sometimes the parents are living vicariously through the children.
Times, yeah.
Because yeah, because maybe they didn't get a chance to do what they wanted to do, so they want the best for their children, which I totally understand. That's all, both my parents, I know your parents, they want the best for you guys, and maybe that's why they push us to do things, but then we find other paths for us to go. May not be the path they wanted, but I find where I'm at. Um, just me personally, because it was kind of hard, because I know my mom was always pushing me to be a teacher, of course, because that was her background. Um, but then when I got to college, I changed my major, like did a whole 360 on it, and went into the other field. So yeah, okay, so that's a great answer, culture. I may have to agree with you on that one. I know a lot of my Filipino friends, they keep saying that their parents expect them to be nurses. You know, they joke around a lot about it, nurses, and then the Chinese, or my Chinese friends, like doctors. Um, I don't know about us Samoans. Is mainly the goal was to become anything that's, like you say, political, that has a nice little status out there, I guess, just to be up there. But the whole topic is, why do people look at failures as a bad thing? But to me, failure is not a bad thing, guys. It's actually a good thing. You can learn from it. The problem is, if you miss your goal, or if you make a mistake, or quote fail to do what you wanted to do, learn from that mistake, and don't repeat the same stuff that you did, so you can fail it all over again. And that's the best thing about making mistakes and failing, is you learn from it and you move forward with it. Um, and that's why I look at all the failures. I have little failures I pick up here and there. I look at it as a positive thing. So I don't know. I just wanted to talk about that, because in today's society, it's a big thing. It could become a mental issue when you compile all those things you look at as failures, when just change the way you look at it.
Yeah, that's a good one. I mean, another thing too, I think that failure is a bad thing because when it comes to us, we don't want to disappoint the ones that we love. Some people,
Yeah.
it could be their parents. Some people, it could just be in whatever relationship they're in. They just don't want to fail their loved one or the person that they
Yeah.
look up to. A lot of cases, it tends to be your parents. It could be your
Mm.
father or your mother. You just don't want to fail. There's also situations where you end up being that child, or that person that all of a sudden have the responsibility to become a father, a mother, a leader, because you don't have those.
Yeah.
And say you might have siblings that look up to you. Just this that scenario happens too, right? I mean, situation
Yeah.
happens too. So just I'm just looking at the question and just trying to see why. Although I do agree what you're saying, it's when you fail, you actually learn from your mistakes, and that's what makes
Hmm.
you become a better person in whatever journey that you're walking or doing in life. But just the question itself, why do people look at failure as a bad thing? I'm just throwing out what I feel like
Yeah.
is the root of it. Other than that, man, just trying to cover
You
the
just don't
base.
want to upset. Yeah, you just don't want to upset the ones that you're trying to
Yeah,
make
whatever.
make them proud of you. Um, yeah, especially, raising up and you see how your parents work hard for you and did everything for you so you can have a good life. And then you turn around and mess around. Let's just say, example, your parents send you to school, pay all that money, and you know you're out there partying, but you know you will need to graduate so you can make your parents proud. But you fail because your butt didn't take yourself to class. You just went to party and all that. So yeah, I see where that's the question. And then, but you know what? From there too is how are you going to fix it? How are you going to make it up to your parents? Like I said, I said earlier, just learn from your mistakes and move forward. But I want to talk about that because it can become a burden on a lot of people. Like people hold these things in and don't talk about it. It might be minute to some people, but if you really like dig deep in it, and while you have your parents around or your older siblings, and you're just trying to make them proud. But just understand, I know from my experience, my mom basically said, yeah, she'll be upset if we didn't graduate, but at least, you tried and you just don't give up and just trying to find something else that you can. Like if I didn't graduate from school, maybe I'll be an entrepreneur or maybe I'll do something else. But yeah, that's what I have on this one. Puni, you have anything else?
Sometimes it just can be your own personal goals. Like just say you have a business that you want to try out. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Failure, so a lot of people say, "Oh, it's good to fail, man. You can embrace and learn from it, move on." But it gets tough when you make that mistake and all the money that you put into it. That's all for
Oh,
things. You know what I'm saying? It's not an
yeah.
option. Sometimes it's just not an option to people. So when they do fail, it's a tough pill to swallow because we're talking about it can be somebody's, that's all the money that they had that they saved up and they banked it
Mm-hmm.
on this business idea that they think or was hoping that was going to work for, to benefit them as an individual or some cases it might be a family, it could be a
Mm-hmm.
husband or a wife just trying to, make ends meet or,
Yeah.
just change their livelihood. And again, I'm just looking at the
Yeah.
question and, that's a great
Yeah.
question because, we can always hear motivational stuff on social media. I think that's why a lot of positive, whether it's quotes or videos, a lot of those stuff, a lot of people tend to gravitate towards on social media
Mm-hmm.
because all of us that we deal with in life, and it's always good to hear that positive stuff. You hear a lot of people's, motivation, stuff about, oh, failure is not an option. But that's what
Now
I
you
got.
said, yeah. Now, just quick question. You said that as an example, losing a lot of money, trying to do this one business. Um, would you give up or would you still push forward?
I
No.
personally, from what I've experienced, I still move forward. I'm still moving forward, you know,
And why? Yeah. Why?
because I don't want to fail. Like I don't want to fail in life. I've got my
Mm-hmm.
mind set on something, on a goal, and
Mm-hmm.
it's it's obviously achievable because I see people around, making
Mm-hmm.
it happen. You just gotta put in the work.
Nice. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And remember, goals. What I get out of all of our talks here is, yeah, we're going to fail. It hurts. It hurts, but guess what? We just keep moving forward. And if we surround ourselves with all those positive affirmations or positive people, because you are who you associate yourself with, and just keep your mind strong, and goals can move. Goals don't have to stay in one place. You can always change your goals, but try let's meet the goals. But at the end of the day, it's just up. You have a choice. You either do or you don't. And that's just my thought process on this whole failure thing. Um, I love being positive, even though you got stuff going on in life. but life goes on, and we just keep moving forward, whether it's hard and you have some dark, rainy, cloudy days. Um, but it's just up to us individually to make that choice. That's my whole thing about this thing, and how you look at the word failure.
Now, do you think everybody can overcome the stuff that they fail in? Or do you think sometimes it is what it is? Sometimes people can try and try and it's just not for them,
Mhm.
you know?
It's I can't answer that for anybody. It's to its own individual. It's a choice. So it depends on that person if you want to make that choice or you don't want to make that choice, but it's up to the individual. Me, I would, I'm gonna be optimistic. Everyone can do it if they just make that choice. But it's up to you. But I believe people can do it. And like you said, if it is what it is. I kind of hate that term. Because I look at it, me personally, I look at it as, well, you know what, it is what it is. Just basically throwing your hands up in the air and giving up. Um, but I try not to say that because I used to say it a lot myself. And I believe in, the law of attraction when you speak whatever and it comes back to you. So I've been doing a little self evaluation, Mr. Puni Moa. So, but I believe people can do it, but it's every individual, it's their choice.
Okay, so this might be off topic, but I think also that when they say people can't change or people could change or can change, which one do you think is correct in your own opinion? I'm just having a conversation. It comes with failure. I'm basing it
Yeah.
off of that.
hmm
Do you think it's
No,
because
it's not
also
off
the
topic.
uh-huh.
I think it's just like I say again, it's a choice. If you want to change, you're going to change. If you don't, then you're not going to change. It boils down to a choice.
Does it matter though? Like, I mean, do you think everybody in the world uh what their version of what success is the same? Like it feels
It's
like
not the same.
it
It's
feels
not the
like
same.
what success is in America and a lot of country is making a lot of money. You understand what I'm
Yeah, it's not the
saying?
same.
Like,
Yeah,
and to other,
success to
yeah. So
is different.
it's different for everybody, right? But
Yeah.
for people that I know, and also just being around the area that I am, success is actually you making a lot of money. And
hmm
I feel some type of way about that. And I'm probably only
Yeah.
saying that because I honestly am not rich. So, I can't
hmm
say something that I haven't experienced. I just feel like, I don't know. Well,
No, that's fine. It's just like what people say, you must be successful because you own a house. I'm like, how does that define successful when you own a house? Um, there's people who are out there rent are more successful. So like you said, successful is different to everyone. What is successful to you in your life? Some people say it's not money, it's about the quality of life and time they spend with their family or friends, you know? But back to it, we can go down the rabbit hole with this. Um, like I wouldn't say, success is having money. There's a lot of people who have a lot of money, Punimo, and the most unhappiest people out there. There's people who
yes.
who don't make much, but they're very happy. So what is a success? So that's a question to self. What is your version of success?
Yeah.
That's a rhetorical question. That's for everybody to
That's
answer
a
on their
good
own.
answer. To make
hmm
you listen, it's just get our listeners to think about it. Think
Yeah.
about it.
So share with us, listeners, what do you think?
Yeah,
What
there
think
you
about
go.
the topic of, yep, on failure, success? What is your definition? And the choices you probably would make.
And hopefully we answered a lot of the questions of the why do some people look at failures as a bad thing? Because me personally, I don't look at failure as a bad thing. There was a point in time in my life I used to feel like that, when I was younger, but I
Hmm.
feel like as age comes and then just experience happens, it's kind of like it's that thing of like the older you get, the more you just don't really what you used to care about is not relevant. Because right now, life to me is just about trying to reach 90 years old or even 100.
Right?
Trying
Trying
to
to
get up
live life to its fullest,
and enjoy.
enjoy life.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. So
Yeah, take advantage of what we have and the strength that we have. So,
so it's
yeah.
okay. It's okay, listeners, to fail. And yes, it is a bad thing, but hey, it is what it is, man.
Just
Maybe it's
learn
your
from it,
attitude. Maybe it's your
right?
attitude, right? Maybe it's just your dumb
Yes.
ass not thinking like choosing or your circle. Could be just people you hang out with, people you're taking advice from. There might be the
Mhm.
dumbasses that, if you find yourself not happy in your situation or your circumstances, and the people that advises you are maybe you might want to check your friends or
Hmm.
your loved ones or even your parents. Who knows? I mean, just it's life, man.
Like Ice Cube says, check yourself before you wreck yourself.
There you go. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. That's what I got, Queen. That's my conclusion for this question.
Awesome. Thank you. That's a good one.
Mhm.
So you heard it from me and Puni Moa about this whole failure and what's your definition and of success, and don't look at it as a bad thing. I know a lot of people look at it as a bad thing, but change the way you think about it. Um, Only you can change that whole situation, whatever situation you're in. Make it positive or just stay where you're at. If you're happy where you're at, be negative and talk crap about other people. Um, okay then. But failure is a bad thing, but guess what? It's also a good thing. Failure forward. So fail forward and move forward and learn from it. That's what I got out of it. I just wanted to share that. So with that, let's segue right into our beautiful month of October. It's breast cancer awareness. Before I knew that, it was also domestic violence. Did you know anyone with breast cancer, bro, that, went through it? And I have some friends who survived it. We have family members
Yes, yes,
who
I
went
have.
through it.
Yep,
Hmm.
I have. Yep,
Uh,
I know somebody personally that
mhm.
went through it and was able to overcome it. My question is it seems like it's it's like a hit and miss for women, right? For breast cancer and stuff. It's kind of like everybody gets it. It's like a hit and miss kind of deal. Seems like it. I don't know.
Yeah, it's all about because like regular appointments. The reason why I want to talk about this is a lot of us neglect going to our doctor's appointment with the breast cancer situation. The awareness is, women, we got to do our self check, and if we feel or see anything that's not normal, it's always good and be safe to go see a doctor and get it checked out. Better safe than sorry. And then instead of leaving it and just hoping it goes away, instead of letting it just come into something bigger, and then we could have caught it earlier and get it, and get it worked on right away. So those of us who women, if you're over 40 or something, start thinking about doing mammograms. You just do that once a year. It's a very simple process. At least you know for sure you can have one whole year of at ease knowing that, you know, you checked yourself and you're good. It's just all about checking yourself because we're losing a lot of family and friends if we would have caught it earlier. It could be any sickness, but this month we're talking about breast cancer. It's awareness, bring awareness to everyone out there. Um, so my whole thing about this is just do your self-exam like you've been taught. If you're not, then just go on the internet and look how to do it because you can do it at home in the shower. And then if you feel something that that's not supposed to be there, bumps, lumps here and there, go get checked up. That's just all I just wanted to cover on the breast awareness, breast cancer. For you got anything to add, Puni? For
No, I mean, when you have questions, like, I mean, how do you know? Like, when you see something like, what are some symptoms to where, a woman or a female would just know that, hey, does it have to be, you have to be at the age of 40? Or does it even happen
no.
when you're within your 20s or, even your
Hmm.
teens? It's like, I'm only asking because I have a daughter, she's already a teen. And what are the symptoms that I got to look out for? Or my wife, say that we're both like, uh, I hate to say the word ignorant, but just don't know, you know,
Hmm.
or my wife should
Yeah,
know. I'm like,
usually,
man,
mammograms are usually for, I believe back in the days, it was like over 50, they want you to get a mammogram once a year. But with the rate of the way breast cancer or cancer period is going, they're just recommending at an early age too, maybe 35 to 40. Now, with the self-exam, so one of the things is when you know, rub your hand underneath the breast and so forth, you could be in the shower, just lay down on the bed and put your arm up and then just rub it against underneath. You just feel for lumps, and then if you feel any pain or if you feel the swelling, of one of your breasts or so forth, you can tell when something's off. And then that's when you want to go see a doctor and you get it checked out.
do you think, I know you're not a doctor or anything like that. I'm just trying to think of like, say for us men, fathers who have daughters, right? Like,
Mhm.
should it be something so like probably take them like a yearly checkup, doing a physical checkup and stuff like that, or that's just a woman thing?
Physical check. A yearly physical check. I'm not a doctor, and you're right. I learned this because I go
Because
to my doctors once a year, a full
yeah,
physical.
sometimes
Yeah,
it's
and they
just
do all the checks. Hmm.
sometimes us islanders just don't know. It's just that don't know and realize that
Yes.
something, because a lot of our let's a lot of our people, well, families that we know of, who passed away at like they weren't even 60s. Some of them didn't even hit 60s. Think of not understanding, like I think us bringing awareness to that, because it is breast cancer.
Mhm.
How can our Polynesian men help out our daughters, even our wives, or for
Hmm.
whatever situation you're in, or sisters? You know what I'm saying? Like, how do we
Yeah,
help them out by being aware? Like, do we tell them, hey, well, let's go get you a checkup, stuff like that?
that's it.
Mhm.
Just having that conversation, bro. Because sometimes it's like, oh, this hurts, this that. It's like, have you been to the doctors lately? Have you? Just like what we're doing. Like, remember when me and you were communicating, and all of a sudden you were telling me, about your situation. I was like, you need to go see a doctor right now.
Yeah. You
So,
know what? You're absolutely right. It's just also having that talk and just
hmm.
communication. Because if I didn't aid or, and because the relationship we have as families, I respected what you said. And I went right away, and Lord forbid, shoot. Next thing you know, I'm like
Yeah.
almost a whole week in the hospital.
Thank you.
And
Hello.
now I feel
And
brand
I,
new. Mhm.
yep. And I'm so glad you went to the hospital. And that's what you're talking about is all we gotta do is just talk to you, and that's how you recommend. And you encourage people because some people just don't like going to see the doctors, or some people keep saying, "Well, I don't have time. I got this." I say, you better make time. Make time. Carve out time to go to the doctor's appointment. Worst case scenario, at least do a once a year full checkup, and that's when they'll check everything. You want a physical check. They'll run um your blood. They'll run everything. Then also you tell them like, hey, I need to check my breast. Tell your doctor check everything, and then that's from there. Then they can refer you to a specialist if something they see is wrong. So it's just making that choice to go get a checkup. It doesn't hurt. Pay your copay. It's much less than the cost of being hospitalized and what we hate to say is funerals. So
And speaking of that, I really do appreciate the people that we surround ourselves with, because everybody talks about health, we're all within
Hmm.
the age bracket of like as we're all getting older, we feel like man, our health is and fitness is very important, to stay healthy for ourselves first, and then
Hmm.
for our loved ones, our kids, and so on and so forth. So I think that's very important. Who you surround yourself around with, in order to be able to achieve these things that we're talking about: breast cancer, failures. Turning that into a positive mindset, and then
Yeah.
domestic violence. But I don't have a conclusion for breast. Actually, I do. Breast cancer. Be around, talk about it. Like you said, use October as awareness. Make it a daily thing.
Hmm.
To always tell our loved ones, like, hey, how you doing, man? Did you go check the hospital or not? Sometimes you're just gonna have to drag their asses,
Yeah.
drag their asses there so they can see it for themselves.
And what's cool is that they have so much information out there, and that's where I get my information. At work they put out pamphlets. They give you website links to read up on it. We are not doctors or nurses. We are just getting this, making these comments for awareness because it is October Breast Cancer Awareness. Just be aware of these symptoms. Be aware of what breast cancer is. Learn about it, and then most importantly, follow up on your doctor's visit. That's my whole thing with this awareness month, which leads us into domestic violence. Domestic violence is a real issue. Um, I know a lot of people don't like to talk about domestic violence, and mind you, it's not only men beating up women, it's also women beating up men, but men don't come out. Why?
It's a muscle memory. It's kind of like you say, failure. It's like, oh, that means you failed
Mhm.
as a man, not putting your wife in check. What does that mean? What do you mean by that? You know what I'm saying?
Or they're too embarrassed.
Yeah.
They don't, yeah, that's one of them, could be one of them, or they're just embarrassed, and I heard one of my friends say, well, people won't believe me because that would be looked at, as a punk, a little bitch. I was like, man, dude, you're right, because men are not supposed to be looked at that way. But there are some men out there who are getting beaten by their wives. It has to be physically, it could be mentally, verbal.
Verbal is a big
Verbal.
thing.
Yeah. Hmm.
Verbal is a big, big one for Polynesians, and I'm
Hmm.
sure for a lot of other men in the world.
Yeah.
The verbal abuse for men, but then domestic violence. I mean, that goes both ways though, because there are still a lot of
Oh yeah.
men that just
Hmm.
think that whooping a woman is the key, buddy. But
Yeah.
it's not
It's
necessarily,
never
bro.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Never okay to lay hands on anyone. Especially, your loved one and your partner, the one person you say that you love and going to be with forever till death do you part. Um, but some women, the reason why I'm talking about this because it's part of my thing to do is just be aware of it. Just have basic knowledge. So I wanted to talk about this with you, Puni Moa. Again, it's to make awareness so people understand, what domestic violence is. And people can lose their jobs, their whole lives can go down the drain if the cops being called on you, because right now that is just as bad as having a DUI and you kill somebody, DUI. But domestic violence is a huge thing. A lot of people don't talk about it, but I know I've seen it growing up. And you think it was a normal thing, but it breaks my heart when I see that. Even these days, when I witness some stuff, and to me, it's hard. I just want people to understand if you're in that relationship. To our listeners, there's help out there. There's hotlines out there. There's links, websites that you can go and get help. That's what this whole awareness thing is about. That there is help available.
Now, do you think domestic violence is only towards a couple, or is it also children too? Like you have a kid, or is it just in general?
No, that's child abuse. Domestic means basically it's just couples or You could be boyfriend and girlfriend, and you're having a domestic issue.
Okay, that's exactly this is the
Yeah.
meaning of domestic violence awareness is focused towards.
Yeah.
I'm just asking because some people might not even know
Hmm.
or aware.
Yeah.
That's a tough
No, that's a
one.
good question.
That's a tough one
Hmm.
to talk about because I
Yeah.
really don't want to offend anybody, but it's going to happen. Because I mean,
Yeah.
I just personally, I've never seen my pops put hands on my mom. So I
Hmm.
was always a firm believer that you don't put hands on women. However, when when the verses are changed, women with their
Hmm.
mouth, they got a mouthpiece and they know how to just talk and don't shut the hell up. That that's where I feel the domestic violence comes from a male perspective. And I feel like this time has changed because I remember growing up,
Hmm.
you rarely hear women talk back to their husbands. Uh, I don't honestly, I don't even see that nowadays too. So I can't really put nothing on it. I don't. Like I said, I feel like it's because of my surrounding. I don't witness this anymore, or I haven't witnessed it at all. To be honest with you, this
Hmm.
thing called domestic violence. I've heard about it. I've talked to some people about it. That's when the experience of it. What boggles my mind is those that are in a relationship with domestic violence. They still with the person, either it's female or male, and I basically like, man. To me, I'm not comparing those people to like how a
Hmm.
dog is. When you beat a dog, they always still come back to you. They're loyal.
Hmm.
That's how I feel with domestic
Well,
violence.
yeah.
Sometimes women
If,
and men, we like violence
yeah.
in our life. You know what I'm
If
saying? So it's kind of weird.
Yeah. Yeah, if you read on like read into it of the characteristics of an abuser, you'll see why, and then also the victim, you'll see why they keep coming, going back to their abuser. There are reasons and there are patterns, but I'm not going to get into that because
Yeah,
I
this is
want people to look up their own. But this is, you know, and if I laugh because I'm just laughing because sometimes, that's how I get through things. Like when Puni was talking about, the women, talk too much. Sometimes we don't control, not control, but sometimes we just go too far. We just keep digging. But the reason why I laugh because I just laugh because uh I can see myself too, like pushing a button, but I know when to stop. But I thank God I'm not in an abusive relationship. But just wanted to make this as an awareness time for everyone out there, because you see it at parties. You see when people are,
mm,
intoxicated and
isn't it uncomfortable, especially with the couples? Like
yeah,
it could
yeah,
be I witnessed a girl doing it to a guy. I also witnessed the vice versa, a guy doing it to a girl.
yeah.
Like, oh, come on, man.
And, that's why I say growing up, you see these type of things. You see
Mhm.
it in public at like functions, family nights, parties. So yeah, it's not okay, but we see it all the time. But I just hope everyone's okay and just know that domestic violence is something to learn about, something to talk about. And I know people don't like to have these conversations, but the bottom line is what I'm trying to say here is learn about it, be aware. And if you see something, I don't know if you don't want to get involved, but maybe talk to your loved one or whoever on the side about, what's going on and let them know that there's help out there. There's a lot of help out there.
You know what? I was just you ever watched that movie where Tyler Perry produced? I don't know if he produced it, but he was.
Was it his first movie?
It's one of the first ones back then. I wouldn't say first, but it was one of them. Why did I get married? Part two.
Yes, I
The
know
part,
exactly what you're talking about.
the
And
part
the scene
two.
you about to rip.
But he was telling his boys like, I think my wife is purposely just starting arguments because she loves the sex. And how sometimes they say that if the what is the makeup sex is a lot better because as we know as adults, sex there's different kind of sex, and from I've been told that makeup sex is one of the best sex to experience. And I told you when you brought that up, I started laughing. I'm like, oh man, because sometimes women and men we're crazy like that. They just really argue just because they like that relief. It's just it's the way they were brought up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some were raised in the jungle. Some were just savages. Some were just
Or some just do it just because.
yeah, they just enjoy
Well, that's all I have on domestic violence. Way to top that topic off with that.
Yeah, because I mean, if you look at the humor side of it, there's a lot of positive, just the positive and negative things. What energy?
Yes.
So it's kind of hard. Yeah, but you're right. You are absolutely right. I don't want to steer away from like the awareness of domestic violence. Speak up. That would be nice. And I know, like from experience, we do for at least myself. Like, hey, chill out, dude. If it's one of my friends, right? But at the same time, I'll be like, man, it's none of my business to like to put those different aside and like, no, this is wrong, bro. Just stop.
I tell my friends like, don't be trying to kill the party over here. I say, y'all want to take your drama, take it somewhere else. But if you know the couple is a couple that put hands on each other, that you gotta respond differently.
Yeah, the ones that put hand
You
on
want
each
to make
other.
sure that person's safe. Yeah.
Oh, it sounds like you just gotta be like, man, not here, dude. Do it in your own house. Like,
Sorry, guys, we
right,
don't mean a lot. We just have this type of humor, but
right.
we take stuff serious. So please, this is just me and my cousin talking.
I know, man. Everything we say is just our own personal opinion, man. Seek professional
Mhm.
help. You know what I'm saying? Do not hold WeFobs as accountable to this. This is just whyuce. This is our podcast. We just like to just talk about what we talk about, and we have no right.
Mhm.
Don't even take our what we're saying, serious. Don't take our advice for it, yo.
Uh-huh.
Don't go to a party and start beating up your girl, your boyfriend.
You need to chill.
Yeah, cuz, man, but that's good, man. What's the moral of this? Just be aware, right? Spread the
Yeah,
awareness.
just be aware.
Mhm.
Knowing that there's help out there if you're in this situation. Don't think just because you saw born or poly, whatever, there's help out there. And don't be afraid. That's the moral of all this. Take advantage of all the programs out there.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm your boy, Puni Moa.
And I'm your queen. Don't forget, log into wefobz.io.
That's where you'll find everything you need to know about us.
We also got merches selling on the website. You'll see the podcast whyuce right there on wefobz.io.
We appreciate your support. Cheer!
See ya.
Let's talk 49ers.
Looking pretty good there, buddy.
All right, the San Francisco 49ers whooped the shit out of
My,
the Dallas Cowboys. 42
my.
to 10. 42 to 10, baby. I mean,
Woo.
shout out to George Kittle with the 3 TDs. For those that, started George Kittle on your lineup for fantasy football, I knew you celebrating. Him and Brock Purdy. I knew y'all was celebrating. Man.
And those who had the 49er defense,
Oh, my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know where to start.
What can we say? I don't either. I mean, the defense was all over the field. They were doing their thing. Fred Warner, like, literally punched that ball into a fumble. I mean, 3 interceptions, and then the fourth one was it number 4, right? Not 3, but 4, with the second string.
The second string, hello, on the fourth quarter too. I'm like, are you serious? We're gonna do nothing wrong.
It was a slow start, but man, what can I say? These damn Niners, they hot as hell, and they looking pretty good out there, buddy.
So we have Dak Prescott, He threw for 153 yards, one touchdown, three interceptions. So we messed up his record for the season because I believe the man only had like six before coming into our game.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I think they included the three. So I don't know.
They included the three.
Yeah.
He had three prior coming in, and then he had three total.
Oh
No,
my
three or
gosh.
four. No, he had four total.
OMG, yo. OMG. I can't
Yeah,
believe that.
all in one game.
And then Brock Purdy being Brock Purdy, man, the regular 17 out of 24, he completed 17 for 252 yards, four TDs, three of them going to George Kittle. Who was the last one on? Couldn't remember because I was kind of done watching after that. Cause
I think Jennings, he got one too.
okay, well, big ups to
Was it?
Jennings. I love that because it was like again, I stopped watching after the third quarter. It's like I
Yeah.
never was able to complete, like fully engage in a Niner game this season because we've been doing very well. And I do not want to jinx that. I'm still the same, still concerned about Brock Purdy. That's the only person that's gonna tarnish our goal for six, to get this number six trophy. As long as he stays healthy, he stays protected, it's gonna be all gravy. I felt like Coach Kyle Shanahan heard my cry or my whine. Finally benched. Finally shared the ball with what's his name, Christian McCaffrey. But
Yeah. Jason Bell.
yep. Oh no, no, the running back. What's his name?
Mason. Is
Mason.
it Mason or
Yep.
Jason? Yeah.
Yeah, Bell is the receiver. I know because
Okay.
we got all these little rookies coming in and they doing
Yeah.
their thing, man. They just killing it, man. It's hard to keep up with these youngsters. But yeah, so it was good. I was happy to see that he started switching Kyle Shanahan, bringing in the second string, the third string, start just giving our guys a rest right in third, fourth quarter. So I really appreciate them for that. I appreciate the Niners for doing what they do. I don't know what to
Hmm.
tell you, Queen. I was trying
Well,
to
there's nothing
find,
more to say.
yeah,
They just got to still score more aggressive the first half before they go into the second, because I know they could have scored. They had a lot of missed opportunities. They could have scored more than going into the second half.
hmm
Because I like the fact that they stay aggressive and just keep scoring high. Because remember, back to last year, we be starting off slow and then end up having those the
yeah.
opponents creep up on us. So I'm
Actually,
like,
like
keep
we're
scoring.
clutch. Yep, you're right.
Yes. Hmm.
And this one is this team, this roster is different, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's very different. And every game so far, we're 5 games in, and it's 30 plus points we've been winning by. And I like to keep that until all the way through.
All the way through. But you know what? I mean, I say it's different. No, it's just that we finally the difference of having a quarterback. Because even like when what's his name, Colin Kaepernick was there, Alex
Yeah.
Smith at one time when he finally put it together. The difference
Hmm.
of actually having an NFL quarterback for any team, it makes
Yeah.
such a big difference.
Yeah, it does. And having this rookie, and you still have people questioning, doubting him. I don't doubt this kid. He's just learning, and he's very humble, and I hope he stays this way. And I think we have our quarterback, buddy, and it's Mr. Pretty Boy. I
Yeah,
just love his last name. But
I'm
one
just,
game at a time.
I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe how bad we were spanking the Cowboys. It's kind of like one of those
Yeah.
things, man. I think they got to stop saying that the Cowboys are America's team. They need to stop that. They need to stop
Yeah.
bringing them up every year because every year all you hear is a lot of Cowboys. This Cowboys that, and here they come to Levi Stadium and they got their ass handed, embarrassed. I mean, shit. Dak Prescott looked nervous for the first time. He looked like he was like gone.
He didn't know what to do.
I mean,
He was out.
I remember you and Guy So Smooth saying that the game was rigged. You think this game was rigged?
Nah, this game wasn't rigged. Who knows? Who knows? I say that now, but who knows?
Oh no.
There was all that pump throughout the whole week, all that talk, the fans chanting, "We want Niners," at their game, and they got the Niners all right. That's all I have because the boys are doing good. Them Cowboys was nothing, so I think I don't want to waste my time talking about the Cowboys because they are irrelevant.
Yeah.
We move on to the next.
Talk about domination. I'm just gonna leave it at this. Total yards, 49ers was 421 to the Cowboys 197. It's very bad. The passing yards, 251 Niners to the 140 Cowboys. And then the rushing yards, we just dominated. 170 yards to 57. It was just it wasn't even a match, y'all. It was like a Madden game. First downs, we had 25 to the Cowboys 8. The third down efficiency, it didn't really matter to us because we just kept scoring.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So yeah, we definitely got 4 sacks on them. They got 1 on us, and that was pretty much the rest. And it couldn't be the penalties because we were even. That's crazy, y'all. The penalties did not affect the game. It's just total domination. Interceptions and fumbles, and we capitalized. So big ups to the San Francisco 49ers for doing your thing, baby. Sheesh.
Bang, bang, not a game.
Bang, bang. But that's all I got today. You got anything else going on, Queen?
No, sir.
All right. Well, I'm your boy, Puni Moa. Thank you for tuning in, folks.
And I'm your queen.
Whyuce, tell me why the sky's blue. Tell me why this money is green. Now Lord, please, tell me why I do these things to make tea. Now yeah, let me. They kick me out of church, cause I just don't listen. Always fall asleep when the preacher is preaching. Not my fault, I do love God, but on Saturday nights I be all up on God. Trying to save the world with the homies. My KB rising with my homies. Playing 2K with my homies. Jumping on at it with the homies.